Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much for joining us here this evening. I want to welcome all of you to the session on what's next in project management. My name is Tayyip Maksud. I'm Associate Professor of Project Management, as well as I'm Associate Dean for Project Management. Simply put, I'm a head of Project Management discipline at RMIT. I have a team with me together. I want to quickly introduce you to them. Dr. Chinzung Lei is a program manager for our postgraduate project management programs. And I would like to welcome back one of our own, Matt Weston, who is now project manager with infra renewals at Yara Trans at RMIT. And as I said, our proud RMIT alumnus. And we are very happy to have a very influential personality with us today, Vic Kapoor, who is the president of Project Management Institute Melbourne chapter here at Melbourne. Next slide, please. Now, before we get started, I would like to say Womanjeka, which means welcome in the indigenous language. At RMIT, we would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of land on which we meet today. We respectfully recognize elders past, present, and emerging. Next slide, please. Just quickly, a bit of a housekeeping. This webinar is being recorded and will be sent via email. The way it's going to work that I will have my presentation, short presentation first, and then we'll have a question from our panelist, and then there will be an opportunity for you to ask us different questions that you've got in your mind. There will be a brief survey after the event, and we'll be very happy, or that if you could fill that up as well. Next slide, please. At here at RMIT, we've been offering a full suite of project management. Can count from the undergraduate degree to different types of postgraduate qualification leading to doctoral qualification. Today, I'm going to talk about our postgraduate programs, starting with the graduate certificate in project management, which can you upgrade to graduate diploma, and you finish up with the master's. Thank you. Next slide, please. Now, why study at project management? As you are aware, as you probably do your due diligence, you would be saying that every other institution, whether it's a university or college, or accredited or non-accredited, is trying to get into the project management, because this is the profession which is hugely growing, and everybody wants to have their fair share of the pie. So you need to make sure that how you differentiate between origins and apples, or good apples from the bad apples. Say, some of the things that we are very unique here is one of the first in the Australia, in the state of Victoria, to start offering the postgraduate qualification in project management. We are in the third generation in a way, managing that, and I'm happy that I've been a leader for the third generation for the last 10 years. And hoping to pass it on to the next one. Now, we have a long history. We have a largest operation here in project management with 17 full-time staff members with PhD, and the industry experience is never heard of in any other institution, which relies on between 3 to 5 at the max staff. So very large operation, large base, a lot of intellectual capital that we have got. We have developed our marketplace and share in this in the market in the area of project management. We are the only one who has this accreditations from 3 national and international professional bodies. And not only that, we have a strong links with them. We invite special industry people who have feel very privileged to work with us, and we feel very privileged to work with them as the guest speakers and panel member assessing your assignment and work. I will talk about in one of our outstanding industry connection network, which is called the Employer of Choice Program, now into its 11th year, very successfully with 300 employers signed up on that. So imagine if in one organization sign up one student every year, we're done. Our research ranking is the top notch, which is the maximum of 4 out of 5. Only 2 other Australian universities have got that ranking in our area. So that's, again, another differentiating factor that you should be looking at. The staff is not only teaching, but they are highly research active in the area. So they are well versed with the recent innovation and technology in that domain for their area. We have a high employable, so no doubt after all this that I've told about, we have a high employability of our graduates, which reaches 100%, more than 90% easily, and the rest they move on doing their own business and things like that. That's the data tells me. So no drama with the employability. Most people now over 30 years in the project management circle are RMIT graduates. So you can't ask better than that, you know. We believe that our every course is meaningful, related to the authentic assignment, mirroring real world issues. We're not one of those where we actually pile 5 key courses and says, okay, rest 10 courses, you can do electives. Well, you do that when you're short of manpower. We are not. We have built it from scratch, from the base, grown up in the last 30 years. And we have a specialist for each area, which is handpicked from Australia and also from internationally. A leader in their own area. And again, as we start to do all this, we have now grown into student leadership. So we have a project management student society called Project Management Chapter, which runs a lot of events. So the only university with the project management with the student leadership. And student has a fair say in the decision we make. And hence, together, we develop this win-win situation that whatever changes or modification we make, students are part of that. So we know we're doing the right thing for the students. So student voice matters a lot to us. Next slide, please. So I'm going to talk generally about a bit of a profession outlook. This is the study done by PMI in 2017, over 2 years old. And in that, they say, well, there will be a large growth in this area for the next 10 years. And in Australia, the study size, and I'm happy to provide the link to that study, that's the Australian demand will grow with PM roles in 10,000 per year. So you can see there's a fair bit there. And that's the reason that every other institution will start to get into offering this education. So there is demand. As we move to the next slide, I'm going to talk about that. Next slide, please. Yes, here. Now we run into this situation which we have never seen before, all unprecedented situation. We have gone into the further resource constrained environment. So the project dollars matter, the time matters, the quality matters. We can't leave it to the accidental project manager anymore. Need to have a formal, educated project managers or more project management professional who can drive the project to the successful outcome and provide the value for money. And there will be increase in the use of automation and digital technology as we're seeing in today in terms of the robotics and building information modeling and all others like 3D printing, et cetera, blockchain, things like that. All going to part of the project management. We will take this thing as we go back to normal, but we will still continue to work in virtual teams. As we have experienced it, we have managed to run it in a virtual team. Some things will still stay. So all this scenario present in my own informed opinion, people can disagree that this can only see a growth in project management. So later we will ask our president PMI Melbourne chapter also about some of the his own opinion and assessment of where the profession is going. Next slide, please. So I want to quickly go through what we are offering. The graduate certificate is 1 semester. 6 months, graduate diploma, double it, 1 year, and master project management, again, another year. 2 years program. For part-time, you can just double the time, simple as that. As you know, we start in February, we start in July. Normal load for the full-time load is a full-time load, like a 40 hours per week that is going to happen. So if you're working full-time, we suggest to take part-time studies, which is 2 courses. And the entry requirements, we need Australian bachelor degree in any discipline. That's fine. If that's not there, we'll look into the 5 years professional work experience. And I got to assess that. And also my colleague here, TJ Lisa, will look into that. Sometime is slightly less than 5, so we can make our informed assessment about that. In master, if you want to go directly in master, we prefer to have 8 years work experience, just to make sure that people have enough experience to actually get into the able to take the requirements of the study and be able to perform successfully. Next slide, please. Going to go to the basics of the curriculum design. We have a very balanced approach between the technical skill and soft skill. Project management, as you know, is art as well as science. A mixture of that, and we are very proud to have a balance of the soft skills that will make you a successful manager in dealing with the people aspect, but also the technical skills in terms of the scheduling, in terms of the costing and the quality tools that you can also exercise at your discretion and be a successful project manager. So you may not be using or doing it all year by yourself, but you will have a very good handle on that with your team once you know how to do these things. So next slide, please. Taking it from that basic balanced approach, graduate certificate will offer first 4 courses. And in doing so, you will study Introduction to Project Management, which is basically different areas of project management as per project management body of knowledge, going to project management techniques, where we talk about Microsoft Project, moving on to the quality, and then do the teams. So we feel that these 4 give you a very basic understanding and grounding in project management. And if you want to opt for the IT specialization, we will replace the quality with the Agile Project Management, one of the first in Australia, a higher degree course that we've been successfully able to offer since last year. Next slide, please, and top up with another, next slide. Top up with another 4 courses, as you can see, with risk management and financial evaluation, and 2 courses which really differentiate us, which is the front-end project management, project initiation management, and information technology and management. So I will invite you to find these courses elsewhere. It won't be, because this is very tightly integrated in our curriculum and very, very specialized people. Next slide, please. So moving on to second year for the master project management, we have a bit of a research component, and that's the idea of the master, that you actually know how to solve problem, innovate, and how you use and develop research skills to find a solution to a certain problem. And that is the route up the management, where you are a problem solver, you are an innovation manager, and the things like that. So you will have an opportunity to take a practical route, which is project investigation and project management practice. They do involve component of research, or you can take a pure research route, which is research investigation, and 2, you can develop a research project and develop and conduct actual research. But both of these options have underlying research philosophy to keep you competitive in your workplace or in the market. Next slide, please. So we offer generic, but we also offer the specialist streams into the engineering. I talked about the generic project management masters, IT specialization, and the post-disaster project management. And I'm very happy to have more discussion about that if you have any question. Next slide, please. Now, moving on to our accreditation, we talked about that. We have a very strong accreditation with Project Management Institute. As you can see, we're very lucky to have Vicky here with us. We have a very good partnership with Australian Institute of Project Management and Royal Institute of Chartered Surveyors. Very few universities, I can see only 1 or 2 universities, which is not in Victoria, having more than 3 accreditations. In the state of Victoria, we are the only one. So please look into this aspect. The accreditations are difficult to achieve, and there is a lot of due diligence that went into it. So very important thing that as you get on to select a program, you need to see this there. Thank you very much. Next slide, please. I'll quickly talk about industry engagement. We are for industry, everything is industry driven. We live and breathe the industry engagement, and that's what we do. The project management is a practical profession, and that's where the industry commitment is just built in. So we have a work integrated learning where the practical aspects are part of the course. We have a school advisory committee full of influential people advising us in the industry aspect of the curriculum. And then the research partnerships. We run a very successful industry night every year with about 600 people invited from our students to our industry, and we connect them and get this networking going, and also give awards to our best performing student. A fabulous evening that happens and will be happening soon, even virtually this time, but looking forward to the physical one. And the employer of choice program, I'm going to talk quickly about that in the next slide, please. If we have, this program has, I've got some sample here, but I invite you to write employer of choice in Google with RMIT. You will get the direct link. You would see there are 300 employees who have signed up with us, and we are their preferred university where they can advertise their job or small placement or internship with us. Why? Because they have a full confidence on the quality of our graduates. And once they've got those graduates then come back and get more students. And this gets into this internal cycle, which is very hard to break. And we are very proud of that. Next slide, please. The last thing I want to mention about the excellent opportunities for the students who want to see the world outside Australia. Very welcome to go to Vietnam for certain courses, or Europe or Australia, and we also run our study tours. So that was a quick rundown of the course. As we go to the next slide, you can have more information on the Postgrad link, where you can search project management under building, under property, and under business. And that's how there are different aspects of the project management that we cover. So as I move to the next part of our proceeding today, I just want to say, be very sure that we may not be cheap. We may have an extra premium, but there's a reason for that. And once you do your due diligence, make sure you look into the staff, their capabilities, expertise, and also about the accreditations and the long history. These things are must. You're going to spend your hard-earned money into it, and hence you need to drive some value out of it. And we are committed to provide that value for you. So thank you very much. I want to introduce my colleague, Dr. Tinzung Lei, who is a program manager for master or postgraduate programs. And his specialization area is under project initiation, front-end project management, project success factor, picked up for his specialty about 5-6 years ago, more than that. So I invite him to actually run the panel discussion, and I will talk to you very soon after this. So thank you very much listening to me, and I'll be very happy to have your questions and answer later.
Excellent. Thanks, Tayyab. Thanks for the presentation. I'd like to start the panel discussion now with the introduction of two other panelists that we have here today. The first one is Vic Kapoor. Vic Kapoor has over 23 years experience in various sectors such as IT, telecommunications, and consulting and system integration. During this time, Vic has taken different roles in R&D, system engineer, solution architect, solution manager, project program manager, and program director in several projects across international locations and with multiple vendors and operators in Australia, Singapore, and Japan. And he's currently working as PMO manager at Ericsson Australia. Vic has also been involved with PMI since 2012 and is currently serving as the president of the Melbourne chapter. He's also the founder of the Project Management for Life initiative that provides project management-based learning to youth. So welcome, Vic, and we are going to have a few questions for you later on. The second person is Matthew Weston. Matt Weston is a client-side project manager working on infrastructure maintenance and renewal program at Yarra Trams, with project scoping across tram track, overhead and power. The MNR, which is the maintenance and renewal program, is worth approximately $30 million per annum, funded by the state government. This vital project ensure the safe and reliable operations of the Melbourne tram network, the largest in the world, with 250 kilometers of double track and more than 455 trams. A proud alumnus of RMIT Project Management, Matt graduated from the Master of Project Management with distinction in 2018 and a Bachelor of Applied Science in Construction Management with honors in 2017. With the great support from the team at RMIT, Matt actually could complete both degrees back-to-back in a 4-year accelerated program, whilst also working full-time during the master's degree. And he got a few "you can't do it" kind of comments throughout the years, but he could, and he made it. So with the introductions, I'd like to start the panel discussion with a question for Matt. Matt, you ready?
All ready, TJ.
All right, excellent. Matt, you graduated in 2018, and you have been working for some time even before you graduated. And you were recently promoted to the project manager's role at Yarra Trams. Congratulations. And that's a very impressive and extraordinary achievement. Can you share with us how your experience studying at RMIT helped you prepare for the job? Or in other words, how that helped you with acquiring job-ready skills?
Sure. So my journey at RMIT started from when I finished my Victorian VCE back in 2014. As mentioned earlier, I went straight into RMIT in the Bachelor of Applied Science Construction Management. So essentially I went straight from high school to uni. I found myself settling well into that degree, so I took the opportunity to fast track the 4-year degree into 3 years. As TJ mentioned, a lot of people will of course resistive to this idea. It's not very common, but my program manager at the time, Frank Bootcamp, had great faith in me and signed off on my accelerated program. And with a lot of courage and dedication, I saw it through and graduated with first class honours in 2017. So I found my first job opportunity through RMIT via our construction specialisation course, which was in my bachelor's degree. So in that, as Ty mentioned, we have strong connections with the industry and we had guest speakers every week. So towards the end of that semester, I met Rob, the managing director of Pre-Built, who is a construction firm specialising in high-end off-site construction of both residential and commercial buildings. Of course, I was rapt to have an opportunity for a site visit to that firm, and that actually turned into an offer for a 2-week internship. And out of chance, a vacancy came up during that internship where I was offered the role of project coordinator. Of course, I jumped right onto it, knowing how difficult the market can be for graduates to find work. But of course, through the connections at RMIT, I was able to have a smooth transition into the workforce. So at that point, you would think I would settle in and call it job done, right? Well, I still had a burning passion in me at that time. I found that my heart lied in infrastructure and public works, but the challenge I faced was that I didn't have a very strong background in civil engineering. So of course, to pivot my career, I was looking for options, and there came project management. So I attended Postgrad night back at the end of 2017, and then found my way into the Master of Project Management starting in 2018. So being me, I of course wanted to see if I could get this done quickly and sharply. But of course, at this time, I was working full time and I didn't want to lose that opportunity. So that was definitely probably the most challenging experience I've had during both my academic and professional career. But with the great support from both Tyab and TJ, we found a way to make it work. It wasn't the most conventional program for the Masters, but I saw great opportunities to integrate my learning in the Masters program with the opportunities I had in the workforce. So I continued working at Pre-Built, and Then about mid-2018, I was offered this opportunity at Yarra Trams to progress into the role of graduate project manager. So of course I jumped straight on that, and I found many opportunities in that to use case studies from work in my learning at RMIT, and that was probably one of the things that helped me balance my work-life study, because it was taking some of that pressure away. But of course in the master's program you are there for professional development, so you try to make the most of it. As Tyab said, we cover a lot of courses both in the technical and the soft skills. And in the role at Yarra Trams on the client side, I found those soft skills invaluable. It's something that you get from sharing experiences with others a lot of the time, and that's where RMIT can definitely deliver in that. And it's something that, of course, you need to develop continually. And I found that the master's program was one of the quickest ways for me to do that. So at Yarra Trams, I was lucky enough to progress my career quite quickly. In July 2019, I moved on to a project engineer role. So I essentially continued what I was doing, but of course with a few more added responsibilities. And then in March 2020, I landed the role of project manager for infrastructure renewals at Yarra Trams. So as TJ mentioned, we have a program of works endorsed by the Victorian State Government, and we focus on the essential delivery of tram track, overhead and power renewal projects, big pipeline, at least for the next 10 years of work. So as you can see, you can go through a journey quite quickly at RMIT, but of course you need to embrace the opportunities you're given and, you know, make the most of this great network that we have at the university.
Thanks, Matt, for the comprehensive answer, and I'm glad to hear that you have a job security for the next 10 years. That's good. If you can keep up with the speed of promotion, that'd be great. Thank you.
Thanks,
My
TJ.
next question is for Vic. You ready, Vic?
Yep.
Excellent.
By
Vic,
the way.
yeah, I know we've been enjoying a successful and fruitful partnership between RMIT Project Management and PMI Melbourne chapter in the last 8 years or so. Are you able to share with us your experience about PMI Melbourne chapter's involvement with us, with RMIT?
Yep, definitely. I joined PMI Melbourne board. That was 2016, but I've been involved in with PMI Melbourne chapter and RMIT for quite some time, starting with the project management for life initiative. So I was fortunate enough to work with Dr. Guinevere Gilbert, also from RMIT. She's also the co-founder. And we started this initiative together, which aims to provide project management-based learning to our youth. And how I got this idea is mainly when I was growing up, I didn't know there was a career called project management. I was given a choice since I grew up, either I should become engineer or doctor. I did become engineer, but I didn't really know there was something project management. And when people talk about how old is the project management job or the profession, if you say 100 year, 200, it's longer than that. Actually, it's more than 3000 BC when the pyramids were built in Egypt. I mean, that was a project as well. We sent man on moon. That was a project as well, building bridges and tunnels and several architectures, the project that were there. So projects always been there, but obviously we may not have called as a project management person, but they were there. So why not start something from the start? Because I became accidental project manager. I didn't like it. And then I took the proper qualification and informed the decision that yes, I want to become a project manager, and that's why I come back. So why not just start from as early as possible? Because when students are making the decision to their career choice, and project management is not just the career choice, but also the life lesson learned that you apply every day. No matter what you do in life, you always have some project management core principle involved there. Even hosting this event, we had several dry runs just to make sure that this event runs smoothly. Now, with face-to-face and virtual is a lot harder because we are not together. We have to be very good with what we're doing, make sure that nothing goes wrong. So there are a lot of people working behind there. So these are the learning, that's risk mitigation, your scope, your engagement, your stakeholders. all this is important skills, and it's better that the student know from the early so that they can involve. So that was my first engagement with RMIT, working with Vic Kapoor and learn people like Gunavir, and later on TJ, you joined yourself, and Omid also participated and help. And there's several students actually come in and say, yes, we would like to do that, to share the education. So that was the initiative that we're still working on. We got a big breakthrough last year with Weston Grammar School, year 9 student. Throughout the year, we ran 16 workshop classes with them and provided the entire project management based learning to them, and they applied in their industry project that they do in group projects. So that's a very joint partnership, very working closely together, and we have a same RMIT and PMI. We do have a common vision and common goal that we want to provide the project management based learning, not just as a career choice or as just a course, but also applying in a real life as well. And that's where PMI and RMIT complementing each other. RMIT providing the education, the standards, and same time the PMI is also supporting with the professional development opportunity, the certifications like CAPM and PMP. So students are getting benefit with, of course, TJ, you have done a lot of work in professional development area. That's where students are getting involved. They're getting benefit for going for those certifications. So when they graduate, they have a degree, they have a certification, and also they have get involved with the chapter, with the volunteering opportunities, developing the soft skills, the essential skills you call, and they are the most important part of project management career. A lot of people think that if you know how to use Microsoft Project or you know how to WBS, they are just the basic that's given. You have to know them. But what makes the most important aspect is your leadership, your communication skills, your engagement. These are the things, how you work with the team, rather than you doing everything alone, how you share the vision and goal with your team. And that's something, the skill that require from project management. So that's where RMIT partnership and PMI Melbourne chapter come together really well. So students who are part of RMIT and with PMI, they will definitely benefit. And that'll be the difference as compared to other universities. When they graduate, they will be going with the essential skills, yes, the education, as well as those soft skills that they will need to complete their projects. Yeah. Last but not least, also we support and sponsor the poster award for that. So I think that's this year we will also continue, and these are the key engagement with RMIT, I would say.
Excellent, Vic. I think we both parties have been enjoying our comprehensive and very close partnership, and I'm glad to see that PMI Melbourne chapter has been able to take on a lot of our students as volunteers and as leaders. As you can see, I know that we have been doing more than you have the time to talk about, so that's pretty good. And with the time that we are allowed here, I would love to move on the Q&A where our audience has posted for all of us. Mm-hmm. So I'd like to start again with Tayeb, the first question. I know that you have touched on your presentation, but I think it would be lovely to have you to sort of give them an overview again. Why should someone apply to RMIT over other universities, given they have a long history of online teaching? I mean, have another, is it the right? Do I miss something?
I think partially I answered the question anyway, but Tayeb can add a bit more flavor to it.
Yeah, but I think it's a good opportunity for Tayeb to really say it again. Why really? Tayeb, you on mute.
So, obviously, I have on my slide, I have at least, I think, 10 or 11 points. Says why you study at RMIT. And Deakin is a fabulous university, no problem. And other universities are fabulous as well. You know, they're doing what they need to do, and everybody's committed to the education. However, they may have a long history of online teaching, but they may not have a long history of project management. All right, so blending that into online environment is not as big a deal as to develop a team around the discipline over 30 years, which are expert in their own area, and they are expensive resources. And not only that, from Australia and wherever they are best internationally picked up and put together, a extraordinary program. I think I humbly would like to say that that may not be the other universities be able to do that. They may be able to do that in medicine, in nursing, or in other areas. But when it comes to project management, they would also recognize when you talk about the RMIT that obviously that is an obvious choice, you know. So I think that's the best I can say. I will look into the quality of the staff, in the qualification, their experience, accreditation. Again, very humbly, Deakin has no accreditation of project management whatsoever. They may have accreditation in others, but not others. So same with the other universities. They may get it soon. I welcome that, and I'm happy to talk about, again, honestly, we're all in the same industry, and we try to work together. We have been working with other universities in our partnership with AIPM, where we're doing combined events. So we're happy to be a part of that community, and we're happy to do that. But then I would like to call apples an apple and orange an orange. So here we are. So Employer of Choice Network, 300 employees signed up, not saying, yeah, we work with you. It's the actual signed up undertaking that they do through that formal program. And under that, they are bound by the terms and condition to allow our students to continue their studies as well as work. And it's going on. We started with 10, 20 employees 11 years ago. We're reaching now 300, and it's growing. They are standing in a queue to actually give awards to our students. We have run out of our awards in our industry nights, and they want to. So we have much more awards than what we actually can give to the students. So we're trying to find out any opportunity, a best assignment in a certain course to get the award in. So that is the reach that we are talking about. So I humbly state, I think in project management, the position we carry, I think other universities have to go a long way to do this.
Thanks, Taya, for the answer. I think, and I also encourage those who have similar questions and would like to learn more about us, get in touch with Taya and or me, and we are happy to have a one-on-one chat with you. That can be, we would have more time with that. The next question that I'd like to ask on behalf of our audience is for Matt. Matt, this is a question for alumnus, right? Can you tell us about a typical week in the course? What was your experience like while you were studying at RMIT? If you can be quick, that'd be good. Thank you.
Sure. So a typical week at RMIT, and I speak for the face-to-face delivery mode and the Masters in particular, which I studied in 2018. It's well suited to those that do work in the daytime. So my typical week would be working in the day and then attending evening classes, generally one class a night at RMIT. In the project management discipline, we vary the delivery mode of these courses, but a lot of it will either be lecture or workshop based. So there'll be the technical content, and then we'll either split into groups and then focus on specific tasks or activities, or in a certain week we may have someone like a guest speaker, which is your opportunity to engage with industry and broaden your insights there. So of course it varies by lecturer or facilitator, and it depends on the pathway you take, but it's in terms of the masters, it's well suited to those who are working in the industry.
Excellent, Matt. That's spot on. Next question. I just want to save time, so we're going to go quick. Vic, the next question is probably for you, and probably Tayeb, you can chip in later if you want to. Can you tell me about any available networking opportunities where I can interact with other professionals within the course? Even though the question is about within the course, but I would like for Vic to elaborate on how we professionals interact and network within the PMI framework, and then Tayeb, please chip in as well. Thanks.
Sure. There are several opportunities that RMIT student can get involved. First off, our monthly events. So the monthly event is a great place for you to come and meet the like-minded people, professionals there. When you can just network with them, you get to learn from them. You can also approach them and understand how the profession is changing different industries. Some of them may be from IT, communications, or utilities, different types of industry. So that's the first place. Second thing is be part of our mentoring program. So mentoring, you get one-to-one mentoring program. So you can get you can select whoever mentor you want to, depending on the skills that you required or whatever the goals that you have. So you get the chance to select those mentors. You also get chance to work in a volunteering opportunity. So we are very fortunate to have a lot of volunteers from RMIT University that they're working. There are a lot of working in PM4L. There are a lot of students who are supporting project management day of service, which just held a week before, right? So these are the several opportunities that they can come and involve. We also launching the PM study group, which is a PMP study group or CAPM study group. That also will help and support students to achieve the accreditation, the certification, the goal that they need. So these are the several opportunities to start with.
Excellent, Vic. Vic, also, I'd like to mention and thank you for the fact that you are mentoring our students as well. He's very busy, but he managed to. You are mentoring 2 of our students now, right? Thank you for that. That's terrific. Tayyab, if you can respond to that question as well, touching on the networking opportunities with among students when we have the PMC and things. Thank you.
Yeah. So again, you look at our approach is holistic. We try to attack this issue of employment and employability and education from all possible angles. You know, you can get into industry links with that. We have employer choice for that. You can get into industry professional bodies. We have a MOU with PMI Melbourne chapter. We have AIPM. We have a RICS. So with all these professional bodies, there is a way to get involved in the volunteering. And while you're doing that, you work with the professional and then you get picked up. So, and this is normal. This happens all the time. You know, it also gets you a bit of a way of how the industry is working, give you direct input in that. What are the other areas of project management and disciplines? And you can think of where you want to have your job and move on to as a career. There's a lot of opportunities that we try to create. And we have recent initiative of having another competitive edge for our student is that we are preparing through a partnership with PMI Melbourne chapter is that our students can take a certified associate of project management certification, which is highly valuable, and project management professional PMP certification. One is you need to have a less experience with PMP, you need some sort of experience. And because of the accredited program, you can get 1 year off that. And then we not only do this, we also prepare you through that. So we have got the subsidized rates for development and preparation of the courses, and TJ has led that sort of initiative. So this is, again, very niche and competitive to us. With AIPM, when you join AIPM, you get the first level of certification 3, which is Certified Practicing Project Professional, CPPP. So this is not, these are the things you join them and you get it automatically. Why they do this? Because they've already looked into the quality of the graduates, quality of the curriculum, and they're happy to place their trust and develop those opportunities. So I think there's a lot of opportunities to network. No drama about that. So is anything else, TJ?
Well, with interest of time, I think you've touched on the most important things already. So I'd like to close this Q&A session with a huge thanks to you, to Vic and Matthew for your participation. It's always great to have you guys back here. I know that we have you here quite often, so that's great. Tayyab, now over to you to wrap up our session today. Thanks, everyone.
Yep. Vic, do you want to say something? You said?
No, yeah. Just a couple of things I wanted to say. I think a lot of people are still wondering how the project management profession will look like post COVID-19. So I just wanted to put importance out that it will become even more important for project managers to pay attention or pay focus on the few things. First of all, the engagement, stakeholder engagement. How are you going to engage with your stakeholders in a restricted environment? So that's where it's going to be a challenge for you. Resilience as well. How are you going to look after your team, keep up the morals, because you don't have a luxury to go and meet them and have those interactions now. And then this is going to continue for some time. Also making the right choice between the priorities, the strategies, what kind of project we're going to choose. That will be important. How they're going to provide the value and benefit in continuously changing the environment, the restrictions you have, what will be the shared goals between customers, what will be the shared risk and challenges. These all need to be understood before you define the strategy and move on to the selection of the projects. And also choosing the right methodology. I mean, not just what kind of project will be suitable for what kind of methodology. Is it the agile, discipline agile, or are you talking about the waterfall or any other methodology? So project managers need to be equipped not just with one weapon. They need to have several in their bags to understand when to use what, and that's where it is important. Not just focus on the education, but also developing those skills through your networking and volunteering opportunities. So that's where the profession is changing, and I would like to advise and give suggestions, my feedback to students and everyone. Yeah.
Great, Vic. Thank you very much. So again, a very interesting session, which I thoroughly enjoyed. Talking to all of you here, Vic, Matt, and TJ, and also the audience, which I couldn't say, but I hope to see you very soon in our first semester. So feel free to approach me or TJ. Very easy to search our names in Google and you would see it popping up. I also want to thank our school manager here, Marshall Lamb, who's provided the back end effort to this organization. And I want to thank our whole marketing team led by our fantastic Lumaine, who is here as well at the back end, as putting up a great event today. As you can see, I would like to close it in 6:17. I was going around okay with project management on time 6:15, but I think 2 minutes is acceptable. So thank you very much, everyone, and it's great to see you. Have a great evening. Thank you all.
Thanks, everyone. Good night.
Thank you.